Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1 minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And here we go again. Every Saturday. Good morning. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you in the house. Stick around right along with me for an hour, or at least one of the 2 hours. Maybe you can stick around for both hours, 10 till noon, every Saturday, Eastern Time, right here. From the center of the automotive universe. Where is the center of the automotive universe? It's inside a 15,000 square foot automotive service shop located right here on the Gulf Coast of Florida and Pensacola, beautiful Pensacola. By the way, General Tires, great General Tires. I'm just thrilled about the General Tires and some new items that I want to share with you a bit later on. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part by General Tire. The Grabber HTS 60. The 60 provides the perfect synergy of comfort, durability, and performance for your light truck or SUV. And folks, it's up to 25% more tread life than the original Grabber HTS, which was a great tire in and of itself. Learn more at GeneralTire.com. And there's the neatest tab they have at GeneralTire.com. That's where you can locate your tire and select your tires by car or by size. It's so easy. Do it today. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part by PowerFrame. I'll tell you a little more about that grid technology so you'll know that when you buy your next battery, you buy one that has the PowerFrame grid inside. How do you know? Because the logo will be on the outside. Back with your calls.
Your car and your life have a lot of moving parts, and your car's battery is what keeps it all going. Here's something to keep in mind. While all batteries may look the same on the outside, it's what's inside that matters. So be sure to choose a battery with PowerFrame technology inside. It's stronger, more durable, and keeps you going longer. That means you can count on a battery with PowerFrame to be there start after start. Here's another reason to feel good about choosing a battery with PowerFrame inside. It's manufactured using the latest sustainable processes. You're moving fast, and you don't want anything to slow you down, especially an unreliable battery. So the next time you need to replace your car's battery, make sure you choose one with PowerFrame technology inside. Look for PowerFrame on the outside, and know there's true strength on the inside.
Folks, with so many tires available today, how do you choose? Avoid the headache and take my advice. Go for the ones I choose for my own passenger cars. For a smooth, quiet drive with year-round traction, I roll on the General Tire Ultimax RT43, which gives me great traction and handling year-round. And with innovative features like the visual alignment indicator and replacement tire monitor technology, I know if the tires are misaligned or if they're worn and need to be replaced. For more information, drive to GeneralTire.com. The Predator's back on the prowl. Diablo Sports' legendary performance tuner has made a return. The Predator 2 continues where its predecessor left off, providing users tremendous performance gains, an unprecedented collection of adjustable options, advanced data logging capabilities, and much more. And I'm going to be giving away a Predator 2 in the coming weeks at a suggested $355 retail value. For more information about the Predator 2, drive to DiabloSport.com. That's DiabloSport.com, and stay tuned for your chance to win.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Rosie Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, Loden, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, starts my morning, happy morning. Your name is Folgers Mountain Grow, now you're here. Your aroma helps me wake and the day is mine to take. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Well, happy November. And this is a special month. We have Thanksgiving coming up. And then, I don't know, maybe it's already started in your neighborhood, but we have Christmas sales. I mean, really, November. Of course, for the retailers, the big box stores, and of course, when I think of big box stores, I can't help but think of Amazon, which is really a big box store. So it's really interesting, you know, time of year. I read this week about the biggest discounts on new cars. When do you think, this is a good question for you, and yes, I'm talking, you know, to you. When do you think would be the best time for you to buy a new car? So think about that, and I'd love to hear from you as to why you think a certain month or a certain time of the year, quarter, you know, first, second, third quarter, why you think that would be the best time to buy a car, and then maybe somebody would have an idea on what a specific date. And if we've got any used or new car salesmen or managers tuned in, as we always have, give us your inside scoop. In other words, what I'd like to have is I'd like to have a dialogue between a consumer, and that would be me, of course, or you, or anyone that is looking to buy, whether you're looking to buy a Coke and fries, or a hamburger, or or you're looking to make a Coke and hamburger and sell it. So whether you're selling or buying, I'd like to have during the program today someone to give me, I say someone else, I'd like to have someone in that industry to give us your insight as to why you can get a better deal. So if you're in that car business, call, and I'll give you the number to call, 888 Car Clinic, 888 Car Clinic, which is actually 888-227-2546. Hannah will take your call and put you in the queue, and I'll put you on the air. We also have, and Fabio, we can use the conference button, agreed, and then we can put 2 up to 3, maybe 3 or 4, well, including myself, 4 individuals on the air at the same time. Now that is a challenge, because you got Tom, Dick, and Harry and Bobby trying to talk at the same time, talking over each other, and it's fun. Well, sort of fun, and but it really makes a lot of sense. So if you are in the sales business, I'd like to hear when the best time to buy is and why, and because I have my opinion, as we all do have our own opinions. But mine is specifically with regard to a new car and when you would buy a new car. And I have a specific reason for when you would not buy a new car. And speaking of the new car, think about this. When do you think would be the wise time or the best time to buy a new car, a newly designed new car? In other words, for instance, one of my cars was designed in 2010. Well, this is 2017. It's due for a new body, just like the Continental came out a couple of years ago. So I've got to really think about what the new body is going to look like, and would I buy the new car if the new body came out today? I mean, you know, if it's 2018 model. Now today's the 2017. So the 2017s are out, but the 2018s, because September is the new part of the year. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but let's go to South Carolina and take Frank's call and get his input on the purchasing time question. And then, folks, here's the question, and if you're a consumer, and I don't know if Frank, he's got an answer. We're going to talk. I'm going to talk with Frank now. But if you're a consumer and you're thinking about buying a car, so Frank, I want to welcome you to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Folks, the numbers 888-227-2546. So Frank, do you sell cars, or are you have an idea for buying?
I'm just a lifelong consumer, and I've bought many of them in my life.
Well, then what's your take on, and what did you hear as my question, so we can be specific?
The question was, when and what time of year is the best time to purchase a vehicle?
Right. So when is I mean, you've bought a lot of cars, and of course the time. I'm not talking about you just got the urge, you want to go out and buy a new car. I mean, I'm talking about financially, where it makes it the best financial sense to buy a car, obviously. So I'll turn the mic to you, and let's have your opinions here.
Okay. Well, the conventional wisdom is that the best time of year to purchase a car is at the end of the year, end of the quarter, end of the month, which would fall in December late, because that is when dealers are trying to make quotas and so forth and are closing out their year, and they are giving their best deals at that time of year. Now, in my alternate opinion, aside from the annual best time of year, the sweet spot of buying a car is when it's 3 years old. And that's generally when it comes off a lease. That's when its value as a retail item has lost all of its shine, and its real price and its real value is represented at 3 years if the mileage is correct.
Wow, that's you know what? I agree 100% with both of those inputs. The end of the quarter you talked about, but specifically the end of the year. And let's just say that you're a dealer and you sell 2,000 cars a year, and you're 40 cars away from meeting your 2,000 quota, and maybe your quota for this year is 2,010 or 2,200, and you're whatever, how many cars away from that, and the manufacturer would give you, and I don't know what the rebate is, but let's just say it's $1,000. So you have an opportunity as a dealer to sell the last 50 cars, even if you sold them at a loss. I mean, or a wash. Now, what's a wash? A wash means that you
break even.
You break even, but you did make enough money to pay the salesman a commission on the car, because the salesmen have to eat. So you pay the commission, so it's a wash. But in order to meet your quota, you lost money or broke even on 100 cars, but it puts you into the threshold to where you got $200,000 if you sold 200 cars or 20,000 or whatever that may be. But basically, as I understand, and I've never been a new car dealer, I did open up, and which was not a good thing for me to do, a used car lot one time, because my dad was a manager of new car dealerships and used cars. He was not a technician, didn't know a lot about cars. He knew a lot about people. Fine fellow, very smart, very intelligent, and had a following wherever he went. But he was not a mechanically inclined individual. He just left it up to me, but he was always bragging on me that I was. And as it turned out, that was my nature, and it's still that way today. But, Frank, the main thing, so it's a given then, folks, that the best time to buy a car is December 25th, December 30th, 31st, the closing bell. And I agree, Frank, 100%. Now, the other scenario is the 3-year lease. So if you're looking at a used car, I agree with the 3-year lease. The challenge with buying lease cars is that they're limited on equipment, because all of the accessories and options that we all add to cars. In other words, you buy a new car, you say, well, I want a special set of wheels. I want navigation. I want leather. I want wood. I want, in other words, each package costs X amount of money. My car was specifically created. A friend of mine and I, Pat, did a great job. And Pat Clark is a friend of mine, and worked with cerebral palsy, and I'm on the board of cerebral palsy for 28 years. And we spent some 7 or 8 months designing online. And this is not an overstatement. We built 300 cars all between the two of us. And so, well, what do you think about this color and this and this? And the bottom line, we had such a good time that at the end of that particular time, if I had waited, and I did, 2 more months, I would have gotten the next year. So at the end of 2012 versus ordering a 2012, I waited 2 months and ordered a 2013. And it took several months to get my car, but it was exactly as I wanted. Having said that, I leased that car for 3 years because, Frank, I thought it being a 13, when the 16s came out and mine went back in, I could get a 17 and not get the new body style. Well, it turned out they didn't change the body style. And so my body style is now 7 years old, and they still, for all intents and purposes, it's the same car that you look. Now, the car's gone up in price, and they've changed some options. But I agree. Anyway, I did buy it after the lease was up because it was such a beautiful car, and I do enjoy it. But you're right about the lease. The lease is you still get a new car, and the warranty that comes with it, with as few miles as you could think. So I agree. Hey, thanks for calling, Frank. I didn't mean to take all your time away, but Frank from South Carolina, appreciate you. Folks, 888-227-2546 about new cars when I come back. Folks, October is Fall Car Care Month, and there's no better time to perform a thorough check of vehicle maintenance items. Start with your heater and defroster to make sure they're working properly. Consider winter wiper blades and use a cold weather washer fluid. There is a difference. Keeping your gas tank at least half full during cold weather may also prevent moisture buildup in gas lines that could ultimately freeze. Dirty or low oil can cause problems in the winter, so be diligent about recommended oil change intervals. Consider a winter weight oil if you live in a cold climate. Winter is a great time to also check your fuel, air, and transmission filter maintenance history. Daylight savings means it's a good time to check all exterior and interior lights and make sure the headlights are properly aimed and the lenses are clear. For more great tips, videos, and recommended service schedules, visit carcare.org. While you're there, order a free copy of the Car Care Guide for your glove box. That's carcare.org. Another question from the Car Clinic inbox. Dear Bobby, I've driven a company car for years, so I haven't had the need to shop for tires in a long time. My daughter is away at school and is going to need new tires when she comes home for a break. She drives a late model Ford Fusion. Any advice? Absolutely. Knowledge is power, so my first suggestion is to log on to a reputable website with great information. I recommend GeneralTire.com, which actually features a tire selector that allows you to search for tires by make, model, or tire size. In terms of specific tires for your daughter's Fusion, Fusion, General just came out with its G-Max AS05, a terrific all-season tire with excellent handling and tread wear characteristics. And the G-Max AS05 also features a number of technological advancements that would be new since the last time you shopped for tires. Visual alignment indicators actually extend tire life by identifying vehicle misalignment, and replace tire monitor technology alerts you when a change of tires is needed. That's GeneralTire.com. Good luck with your daughter's Fusion.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
The airlines like to have sales. Summer getaway sales, holiday sales, winter sales. Truth is, at any moment, some airline somewhere is on sale with low fares to great destinations. Travelocity knows exactly what's going on, who's on sale, to where, and when, at over 700 airlines worldwide. We even have this nifty feature that lets you look at a calendar so that you can see exactly the days the great fares are available. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere. AOL keyword, travel.
Hun, guess my temperature.
It's 2 a.m. Go to sleep.
Come on, one guess.
I'm 98.
Higher.
Higher, 99.
You're getting warmer. Wait, I'm getting warmer.
Cold symptoms keeping you from getting a good night's sleep? Get NyQuil, the nighttime sniffling, sneezing, coughing, aching, stuffy head, fever so you can sleep better to feel better medicine. Use as directed.
One more guess.
100?
Yes. Tell her what she's won, Bob.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic, brought to you in part by Power Frame Grid Technology. And folks, Power Frame Grid Technology is what's inside the Power Frame Grid Technology battery. It's engineered with confidence, and Power Frame Grid Technology is designed to minimize corrosion. That's the death of batteries, the corrosion. Well, the Power Frame Grid minimizes that, and because it leads to battery failure. And you can trust a battery with the Power Frame Grid technology because it has true strength start after start after start. You can learn more at powerframe.com. And while you are there at powerframe.com, there's a compare page. You have to look at the two differences, and the difference between a standard book mold, which is just like a molded cast, looks like a spider web actually, because the grid fell apart after a short period of time, because that's a standard battery. So you might say that the Power Frame Grid technology is a whole new technology, and it does, and it works. And I use it, I recommend it, and we have customers that have proved and driven these batteries with their cars that have worked. We had one customer that ran out of an alternator and drove from Houston, Texas to Pensacola, Florida on the battery without any problems. And she had her two kids in the car, and she calls, and I'll tell you what shocked me. It wasn't the fact that she was going to do that. It was the fact that the next morning when she got home that night, she cranked up the car. It still had enough current in the Power Frame battery. She cranked it up and drove it in. So, well, here I am. I said, you got to be kidding me. It is a fantastic product. So this new technology, go to powerframe.com for all of the details. Powerframe.com. Now, we're talking about new cars. So let me share with you an intelligent rear view mirror that debuts in the 2018 Nissan Armada. So this is a really, really cool, because the intelligent rear view mirror is used to see through a bunch of balloons that they put in the back of the automobile. So if you've got the rear view mirror and you've got something in the hat rack back there, or kids or whatever, I mean, you can't see. Obviously, you can't see. This is an intelligent mirror. So what they did, and this is so cool, this option, it's a camera that projects a picture on your mirror of what is behind your car, so that if you look in your mirror, it's the same as looking in the mirror with no obstruction behind you. You get it? That Fabio, you understand that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Okay. Well, anyway, it's the intelligent rear view mirror that I'm talking about is switched from a standard mirror mode to an intelligent LCD mode, with the switch located on the bottom of the mirror, about where the dimmer switch would normally be in a standard in-car rear view mirror. So you can just reach up and pop that. And when you flip that switch, what you can't see is mirrored there for you. So it's really cool, and it's going to debut on the 18 Nissan Armada. Now, we were talking about buying used cars, new cars, and I talked with Frank from South Carolina, and when was the best time? So here's a 2018. This option is the Platinum, and that starts with a Platinum Nissan Armada at $61,590. So you have to think about, well, gosh, what is the car without that option? So therein lies the real difference between when you buy a used car, because you have no control over the options that were put on that car brand new. When you buy a new car off the lot, you also have little to no control over, you have control over what you buy. But if you like one color of an automobile and you wanted this smart mirror option and it wasn't on that car, wasn't ordered with that car when that car was made, then you would not have that option, because these are not add-ons. These are products that are made in the car when the car was created and assembled at the factory. So, and there are options, and you can always add options, and we can talk about that as well. But the bottom line, when you're buying a new car, you want to put on it what you want on it, if that's your goal. If you're just looking for a new car to go from point A to point B, and you really don't care, then you might not want to buy a new car. You might want to buy a car, as Frank said, coming off lease. I don't know. What's your opinion? I mean, you know, it's Car Clinic show, but there's opinions besides mine, so I'd love to hear yours. 888, Hannah will take your calls at 888-227-2546. I like the intelligent rearview mirror that is on the Nissan Armada. I will say that that's a huge vehicle. It's a big SUV, and when that SUV first came out, I said, well, I'd love to see that. The Infinity, of course, version was the Q56, and it had a big V8 engine, a big automobile, and I really thought that was going to be the car for me, because at that time I was looking for another car to buy besides the hot rod Viper that I had. And everyone has a SUV or pickups and what have you. But I had a van, so I really didn't need another big vehicle. Well, but I ended up buying a four-door, and I'll tell you, a luxury four-door is a fantastic vehicle to ride and drive in. So as we go through the program today, I'll share those sort of things with you. And also I want to, I'd be remiss if I didn't remind you that next week I will be giving away, and we chose next week over this week to give away a Diablo Predator 2. And you've heard me mention the Predator 2. You've heard me mention the giveaway. So whatever your plans are for next week, from 10 a.m. Eastern Time till noon Eastern Time, wherever you are, you can go to watchbobbylive.com and you can participate, or you can just call if you're riding down the highway, or if you're out of town, call 888 Car Clinic and put your name in the hat if you have a car question. Now, you can't just call and tell Hannah to put your name in the hat. You have to have a valid question and participate in the program, or I'm not going to put your name in the hat. But if your name goes in the hat, here's what you could win. And again, I've mentioned the Diablo Sport tuner several times and many times. So exactly what is that? Well, first, you have to drive a Ford or a GM or Chrysler, Dodge, Ram, or Jeep in order to use this product. And this product, and I'll give you a good example, how would you like to plug in to the data port, and that's where you read the codes of any 96 and newer automobile. How would you like to just take a palm size, about the pack of a pack of cigarettes? It looks like a little apple. It has the quality of Apple. I will tell you that. That's saying a lot because I'm an Apple guy. It plugs into the data port, this programmer does, and it programs horsepower and economy. There's adjustable options like tire size and gears and shifting and more. That's all right there at the palm of your hand. And it's a high-speed OBD2 data logger. And that's what that port is. That's an OBD2 port. It reads and clears your own codes, your diagnostic codes. Now, I know you're not going to buy one of these to read your codes and what have you. Folks, this is to plug in and reprogram your car to get horsepower. It's new, it's slim, the case is really neat. As I said, it fits in the palm of your hand. It's got a full colored button control screen that has an interface, and it simply plugs in. It downloads your existing tune software from the factory and saves it, so you can always go back to it. That's important. Why? Well, because if you've got a brand new car and you tune it and you want to take it in for some warranty work, you might want to take your tune out of it. Not that they would know, but doesn't matter. You want to put it back factory. And this is not going to affect your warranty because you can plug and play it. Now, the main thing is the Predator 2 is a tremendous gains in horsepower. So the bottom line, I'm going to give one away next week. You don't want to miss a giveaway. It's the Diablo Sport Predator 2. Carries a suggested retail value, $355. In the meantime, you can learn more about the Predator 2 at diablosport.com. So think about that. Put that in your data memory, and just know that when you call, you have an opportunity to put your name in the hat. And today, if you call, I'll answer your car questions at 888-CAR-CLINIC. That's 888-227-2546. What was this week like for you, and what was it like for our team here at Bobby Likis Car Clinic Pre-Repair? For me, we are in the process of, I would say, we're upgrading and servicing a new, speaking of new cars, gosh, I just now put this together, a new 1955 Chevrolet two-door Post. That's right, a new, including the body, which is new, including the seats, which are new, the dash cluster, which is new, the engine, which is not a new 55 Chevrolet engine. It's a 2016 Corvette LS3 525 horsepower V8. It is bad to the bone. It is a really, really bad to the bone. And what we are doing, this car has power windows, power steering. It has a console. It has an exhaust cutout. Do you know, Fabio, do you know what an exhaust cutout is? You have a guess of what an exhaust cutout is? So, see, that's the young generation. He's certainly not a car guy. And there's a challenge in our industry with a younger generation because so few are into cars. So I guess who's going to take over repairing of automobiles? And I think that's really interesting to think about. And of course, this week was the big SEMA show. This is the last 2 days of the SEMA show. And I got to tell you, that's the Specialty Equipment Market Association. I've been there 20 times, and for me, it was all work. And everyone says when you go to Vegas, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and you go out and you have a good time. Let me tell you, it was work. It's work because if you try to cover the convention and you've got 2 million square feet to cover, booth by booth by booth, think about this. There are 60 football fields of space broken down into 10 by 10, 10 by 20, 20 by 20, and larger booths. That's a lot of booths to cover. It's impossible. You can't do it. So you have to be selective. And you have to be selective, and I'm glad you selected to tune in to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Your call is at 888-227-2546. When it comes to your car battery, you expect it to work. Turn the key and go. Thanks to PowerFrame Grid technology, you can trust your battery to be there start after start. Batteries with PowerFrame Grid technology are tested to provide superior cranking power with up to 70% better electrical flow than other grid designs. Look for PowerFrame on the outside for true strength on the inside. Visit Advance Auto Parts or CarQuest for a battery with PowerFrame Grid technology, or to learn more, go to powerframe.com. That's powerframe.com.
Did you know that birthday parties help build confidence in kids?
Yeah. Did you know that giving kids less sugar before bedtime helps them sleep better?
Oh, totally. Did you know that friendly kids have more friends?
Everybody knows that.
Hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
I didn't know that.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Waking up can be a chore, but morning's knocking on my front door. Know just what I'll do. Put on a pot of Folgers brew. Mountain grown aroma hits the spot. Helps me give all that I've got. An opportunity to start out smiling and happy. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
I'm privileged to be involved with Capstone Adaptive Learning, formerly known as United Cerebral Palsy, for over 25 years. Since 1953, Capstone has provided quality care programs for persons with developmental disabilities like autism, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, and intellectual disabilities. Dr. Sherry White with her team are dedicated to Capstone's clients, and 100% of your contributions stay local to serve those in this community. Go to capstoneadaptivelearning.org to see the difference Capstone makes.
Technology moves at the speed of innovation, and today, that's lightning fast. So when you get your hands on the latest tech, don't forget to do the right thing with your old devices. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old tech device as easy as purchasing new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the responsible recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find lots of tips to simplify your recycling, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets, they're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Welcome back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Terrific program today. As promised, we have with us a special guest today. And I'll help you solve your car problems as well. It's called 888 Car Clinic. And folks, more than 200,000 vehicles have rolled through our service shop, and I'll bet I can help you with yours. Meanwhile, on the hotline with me is Joe LaMoraglia, Communications Manager for Chevrolet, live from the Charlotte Auto Show. Joe, it's great to have you join us in the house here at Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Honored to be here, man.
Well, let's talk about first, how's the Charlotte Auto Show going?
Well, it actually hasn't opened to the public quite yet. It opens at noon. I've been here since about 5:30 this morning talking about cars. I can tell you, I'm sitting here in a Chevy Equinox looking out at the show floor. There are about 300 cars for people to come look at. So I think it's going to be good.
Well, no doubt. I mean, here you are. I guess you, like I, and a lot of our Car Clinic listeners eat, sleep, and breathe automobiles. But, folks, even if you're not into cars, I mean, even if you're looking for a grocery getter or a car for your family, Chevrolet has a drastic new lineup heading for 2018, and Joe is going to share that with us. Let's start with the red-hot crossover segment. Joe, share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers a little about the new Equinox and Traverse.
Absolutely. Listen, we have some really sexy cars in our lineup, like the Stingray, but let's be honest, the ones our bread and butter are pickup trucks and our crossovers. I'm sitting in the 2018 Chevrolet Equinox. This car has been redesigned from the wheels up for 2018, and it is a fantastic car. It lost about 400 pounds, so it's lighter. It's more fuel efficient. We have some really, really cool technologies available in it that we didn't have before, like 4G LTE, which people might say, well, why do I need Wi-Fi in my car? And I'm telling you what, it's amazing, especially if you have kids. $20 a month, unlimited data. They can watch all the movies they want. You can, if you're a road warrior, on the road salesperson, you can get on your computer when you're stopped, and it's just like being at your home. Tell you what, another really cool thing about the Equinox is we have all new engine lineup, and one of those engines is a turbo diesel. Nobody else has it. It's a 1.6 liter turbo diesel engine, and I tell you, it gets 39 miles to the gallon on the highway, which is phenomenal for this segment. That engine is not for everybody. It's for those people that do a lot of long distance driving. But we like to say we have a vehicle for everybody's driveway, and that fits the needs of a lot of people out there.
You know, Joe, to that end, we've all heard over the past, I don't know how many years now, when we go to Europe and we rent a car, you know, so what is this? Yep. This car's getting 30 and 40 and 50 miles per gallon. Why don't we do this in the United States? And here we have, and folks, this is really important, this little diesel engine will have the plenty of power because it has the turbo, and we talk about turbos all the time. And Joe LaMoraglia, the communications manager for Chevrolet, is sharing that with us live from the auto show. So, Joe, what are some of the latest tech? And you mentioned the comfort features. You mentioned about the connectivity of the automobile. And, folks, I cannot impress upon you enough how important it is to be connected as you're driving down the road for simple fact of navigation in and of itself. What else?
Absolutely, and connectivity. But we want you to be connected, but we also want you to be safe. So we have some great technology called Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, where the driver can bring their phone into their car because we know they do it. They can plug it in, and the phone, certain features of the phone will mirror it up on this big screen right in the middle. So let's say we know people. Through research and how I do it, we know people put their maps on their phone and use that as their navigation. Well, this way you plug it in, it comes through the car speaker, the map's up on the screen, and it's being powered from your phone. That's a way to keep people safe, hands on the wheel, eyes on the road, and then guess what? You can be streaming that through that map through your in-car Wi-Fi. It's just fantastic new technology that we have in the entire Chevy lineup. We talked about the Traverse before as well. And the Traverse is all new, just like the Equinox, but it's a 3-row vehicle. We call them crossovers. They look like SUVs, but they drive like a car. This car is really sexy. And you might be thinking, 3-row vehicle sexy, that doesn't make sense. It really does. They redesigned it to make it look just really, really good. Super comfortable, has all the technology I was just talking about, but also has some really what we call purposeful technology. And it's, who has the hands-free liftgate. If you're driving this car, you got a bunch of kids and it's raining outside, you just walked out of Kroger and you just need to get into that rear trunk, you can swing your foot underneath the rear bumper and the rear hatch opens. That's just really cool and really invaluable.
I agree. I agree with everything you said. And, folks, I will tell you, I can't wait until I drive an Apple CarPlay ready vehicle because I don't have to learn. And, folks, you don't have to learn how to work that automobile because you're carrying in your hand the Apple phone that you can connect with the automobile. That's really important, and I can't emphasize enough. Let's shift gears, Joe. The Bolt, sure. Not the Volt, folks. This is the B like in Bobby. The Bolt EV is making its nationwide rollout. So, Joe, how's the Bolt EV being received in the market, and where are we in the evolution of the EV cars?
Well, I think the Bolt EV, we broke the mold. It broke the mold in a lot of different ways. One, because it's affordable. After the tax break, it's under $30,000. Two, it is functional. So it seats up to 5. It's a tall crossover at a hatchback. It's very versatile. And 3, it has a range of 238 miles on a full charge. So if you drive, the average consumer drives 40 miles a day. You're not going to dent that 238-mile range. You're going to feel comfortable driving around, plugging in every night, and commuting to and from work. You're still going to be able to scoot around on weekends without worrying or having that dreaded range anxiety. So the Bolt EV broke the mold and brought electric vehicles into the mainstream, if you will. And to tell you what, our sales numbers are showing. We just had our best month ever on the Bolt EV, and I think Bolt EV sold more than the Tesla Model S and X combined.
Now, that's a statement. Now, and because we all know about the Tesla, and Elon Musk has done a great job, but I have to tell you, the old saying is EV damaged the electric car. It is now the reverse. EV cars are being produced without the anxiety and for use in everyday life, and then some with the new Bolt. I'd like to shift one more gear then as we head into the auto season show. Just share with our Car Clinic listeners and viewers any inside, and yes, Joe, this is a trick question, any inside scoop. I got you on the air now. Any inside scoop or big surprises on the horizon from the Chevrolet brand?
Of course there are, but I just can't tell you about them. I would say, listen, Chevy is constantly innovating, and Mary Barr, who's our CEO and just an amazing person all around, she talks about our customer is the center of everything we do. And I tell you what, I'm just telling you right now, we're listening to our customers. We're constantly asking them questions. Through our technology, they can even opt in to help us make our products better through the OnStar system. And we're going to come up. You just look in the next few months, you're going to see some pretty cool stuff from Chevrolet.
Okay, folks. So we have to take that as you'll have to wait and see. So,
well, I tell you right now, they're at SEMA. If you go to the SEMA website, we just debuted some really cool product at SEMA, some concept stuff. But one of my favorites, the one I'm looking at right now, is a Chevrolet Colorado ZR2.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
that thing's mean looking. It's a mid-size off-road truck that's affordable and just awesome looking.
So then it can be fair to say, no pun intended, that GM goes from mean to green with the Bolt and the Colorado.
Amen.
There you go. Okay,
I agree with it.
Final question, Joe. A website so that our Car Clinic viewers and listeners can learn more about all the Chevrolet products.
All they have to do is go to www.chevrolet.com.
Hey, that's easy enough, Joe. Thank you so much. Joe LaMoralia, Communications Manager and just overall guru for the Chevrolet brand, live from the Charlotte Auto Show. Joe, I'll let you get back. Thanks so much for your time today. Go knock them out.
My pleasure. Have a great one.
I thought I had him. I mean, he just, what a neat guy. It really is. Now, folks, I never met Joe. I never even talked to him until this time on air today. And you gotta know that when you try to ask that question, it's kind of like testifying. Once you get him in the seat, not necessarily he wasn't here, of course, he was on the phone, but the bottom line, I was trying to find out exactly what we might expect from Chevrolet. But I guess it's a buyer's market. Now, why would I say that? We talked about at the front of the show, when do you buy a new car, or do you buy a new car, or do you buy a used one, do you buy one coming off lease? It's a buyer's market because if you don't see the car, either used or new, that you really have your heart and soul set to, just wait 6 months and somebody will come out with it. Somebody will make it. What I was really surprised is that Joe talked about the sales of the Bolt, and they sold more Bolts than Elon Musk sold Teslas, both Teslas. So that's really an amazing feat, you might say. And and I'm not saying that everyone should go out and buy an electric car, but I will ask you this: what do you think is the future of cars? And let's fast forward 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, or whatever. I'd love to hear from you as to what you believe the car of the future is going to look like. And I don't mean visually. I mean, there's not. I mean, it's got to have a windshield, and it's got to be able to, it can't be a cocoon. It has to have four wheels and roll. And now it doesn't have to. It can fly and those sorts of things. But I mean, realistically, for an everyday grocery getter, and we will always need a car to go to the corner to get a loaf of bread. Or that's just our society. But what will that car look like? And if you've ever been to Europe and you see the cars over there, I remember my first trip, how strange these cars were. That's where I saw the smart car. And, that's right. And we have one. We had the second smart car not on the Gulf Coast, but in Pensacola, Florida. And it has been a fantastic car, and we drive it every day. We have like 50+ thousand miles on it. And we are known as the local smart car automotive service repair for smart cars. And we are actually the dealer in Louisiana, in New Orleans, recommends our shop, not for warranty work, because we're not a dealer, so we can't provide the warranty work, but we can provide service, repairs, and updates on all of the smart cars. It's the same thing for Lexus. You don't have to drive the Lexus to get your car worked on. You don't have to drive to Mobile. You can have it right here in Bobby Likis Car Clinic Service Pre-Repair. We're in Davis Highway. Now, I said all that to say that because we are so involved in all car lines, when I talk with you folks across the nation and really the globe, because Watch Bobby Live is global, that's how I can share with you the information that I learn, because in our shop we have everything from an LS 560 or 460, 430 to a Lexus to a 55 Chevrolet. And that's right, the 55 Chevrolet that we have that is a new 55 that a client of ours had made. And there are some things on it that needed to be tweaked and upgraded and changed. And he brought it to me and he said, well, here's what it is and here's what I want. Fix it. And that's what we're doing. And it's really quite a beautiful car. It's black and gold. And it's a two-door post 55 Chevrolet. And it's new. I mean, new metal. It's not a fiberglass body. It's not an old 55 Chevrolet that somebody sanded and buffed and put a bunch of Bondo in. This is a brand new metal body panels, the whole 9 yards. And it's really quite beautiful. We will be posting on our social media platforms many videos about what we found on this automobile. One of the challenges that we found was it didn't lock into park. It's automatic transmission. And you've got an engine, 525 horsepower. It's healthy idle. And you put it in park. Well, let's say you got it running. I forgot my keys, or I forgot my wallet, or what have you. So you go back in the house to get it, and there's somebody in the car with you, maybe a friend or maybe a child. Doesn't matter. They bumped the stick. This car would have jumped into reverse. Now, I had to take the console apart and find some other things, and you'll see all this in video a little bit later on after we are satisfied with the car. Let's go to Mobile, Alabama, speaking of Lexus, and talk with Jesse. Jesse, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us.
Oh, thanks. I was looking up your post and found a picture on Street Rodder magazine I'm sending you. It looks like the 55 Bel Air, because it's got two-tone. Mm-hmm. Is that a nickname for the Bel Air of the Post?
Yes. Well, okay. The Bel Air was an option. In other words, you had a two-door plain post, mm-hmm. and then you had the Bel Air. The Bel Air had different appointments, like chrome and maybe some mirrors and what have you. But that's the difference between a Bel Air and a standard. I'm trying to think what the standard was. A 210, as I remember. Mm-hmm. And so a standard Chevrolet 55 210, and I don't know where the 210 came from, and I don't know where the music came from, but Jesse, we're out of time, folks. Another hour. Thanks for your call, Jesse. Another hour of Bobby Likis coming up after the break. I'm Bobby Likis. Like us, you'll love us.
This is Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
Folks, recently we had a for sale on a 2014 Nissan Frontier in the shop. The customer said the vehicle wasn't running well, nothing specific, but fuel mileage was down and the vehicle had lost its zip. As he explained, it's a manual transmission, so I know what it should feel like, and it's just not right. The suggested maintenance and ignition service were up to date, and there were no trouble codes. So what was the problem? The answer lies with today's complex engines. While the maintenance schedule was on time, engines today are prone to carbon deposit formation, and fuel system cleaning is a key piece of the puzzle. Professional fuel system cleaning is an option, but a less expensive alternative is the use of a pour-in fuel system cleaner. We use Berryman B12 Chem Tool in the shop. It features Berryman's proprietary high-energy solvent, or HEST technology. We poured a bottle of Berryman B12 Chem Tool into the Frontier, and after just one tank of gas, MPG improved and the vehicle regained its zippiness. For more information, drive to BerrymanProducts.com. That's BerrymanProducts.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
If you're familiar with the cultivated section of the newspaper, you probably understand this message quite well. You see, in the cultivated section, everything gets abbreviated. Consonants, vowels, prepositional phrases, the very building blocks of our language are thrown right out the window. And that makes it difficult when you're trying to sell your car. You've got a limited amount of space to work with, and by the time you abbreviate the description of your car down to a couple of fragmented sentences, it sounds less like a car and more like a Bluck sedan with sniffed like new condition limos. No wonder more people are selling their cars through eBay Motors. They can post unlimited text and photo descriptions, and with a nationwide marketplace, they're likely to sell it for more. Plus, both parties can be covered by eBay's Vehicle Protection Program. Buyers are happy, sellers are happy, and no one's abbreviating. eBay Motors, a better way to sell your car.
Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 3-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Bobby Likis Car Clinic begins at 6 minutes after the hour. Countdown to 1-minute mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 30-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Countdown to 10-second mark. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. If you have a car question for Bobby, call now at 1-800-264-5454, toll free from anywhere in America. And now, here's your host, Bobby Likis.
And thank you, Marty White. Also, we'll open the 888 number, which is a little easier for you to remember. 888 Car Clinic. That's 888-227-2546. I see that John is in the queue and Annie is in the queue. So I would suggest that I can see that this hour, which is our second hour of our today's broadcast, and just for you to know, every Saturday from 10 till noon Eastern Time, we come to you live. So we are live as we speak. It's November the 4th. This is the first Saturday in November. And next week, we'll be giving away a Diablo Sport Predator 2. It's a $355 retail value, so it's a tuner, and I'll tell you a little more about that a little bit later in the program. Bobby Likis Car Clinic is brought to you in part today by O'Reilly Auto Parts. And folks, when it comes to safety, there's nothing more important than your vehicle's brakes. You can trust the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts. They'll help you choose the brakes that are an exact fit for your vehicle. And these are brands you trust, like Brake Best Select, and my favorite, Wagner Thermoquiet. O'Reilly Auto Parts has the brake parts and accessories that you need at guaranteed low prices. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. 888-227-2546. Your calls when I come back. Like us, you'll love us. This vehicle maintenance spotlight is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts. Folks, your vehicle's headlights dim over time. Even if they seem to be working fine, chances are you could see better. With shorter days, it's the perfect time to visit O'Reilly Auto Parts for the See Better, Drive Safer sale. You'll find great deals on everything you need to improve visibility, like headlights. Buy a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and receive a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
O'Reilly. If it's time to replace your vehicle's headlights, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts See Better, Drive Safer sale for a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. See farther and more clearly with Silver Star headlights at O'Reilly Auto Parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Diablo Sport Tuning Systems give you the ability to easily boost your vehicle's power without even popping the hood. But don't take my word for it. PSCA racer Alex Rosio has been using Diablo Sport products on her Dodge Magnum since the beginning of her racing career. According to Alex, Diablo Sport tuners have been an essential part of her success. There really isn't a better line of products that offer quick tuning and diagnostics. Learn more at DiabloSport.com. And while you're there, check out the new Intune i3 Performance Programmer. That's DiabloSport.com.
Lung cancer kills more people than breast, colon, and prostate cancers combined. And 80% of those diagnosed with lung cancer never smoked or quit decades ago. If you or someone you know has lung cancer, the Bonnie J. Adario Lung Cancer Foundation can help. Text the word LUNGS to 50555 to help lung cancer patients and to fund the research needed to find a cure for the world's deadliest cancer. Go to lungcancerfoundation.org for more information.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Another lending success story from LendingTree.com.
Car dealers like playing games. They play percentage points, they play markups, but I don't like playing with my money. So I got my auto loan through LendingTree.com. I filled out one simple form, a marketplace of banks and lenders competed over it, and I got 4 offers back within hours. After all, the car buying game is a lot easier to win when you're holding all the cards.
LendingTree.com. When banks compete, you win. For additional information and state license disclosures, please visit our website located at LendingTree.com.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Okay, let's get started with this hour of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Every Saturday from 10 till noon right here from the center of the automotive universe. Hannah will take your calls at 888-227-2546. That's 888 Car Clinic. Put you in the queue and I will put you on the air. We'll go directly to Arkansas. Annie, you're first in, so you're first up. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I got a 2011 Mitsubishi Endeavor, and I've had it in the shop many times.
Yes, ma'am.
For a grinding noise when you start up.
Okay, and the grinding noise when you start up, you mean after the engine is running or during the cranking of the engine or when you put it in gear? I need more details.
Okay, after the engine is running,
okay.
I start it up and let it sit there for a minute, and it grinds as it's running. When I put it in gear, I don't know. I'm in the car driving.
Sure, right.
So, but it sits there, and a lot of times it's during colder weather. I've had it in the shop 17 times. They've replaced the engine, not with a new one.
Mm-hmm.
They replaced all belts. I've had the timing chain done. I've had so many things done to it. There's probably been about $15,000 worth of work done on it. Thank goodness I bought an extended warranty. First time it's ever paid off. I have about 5,000 miles left of my extended warranty, and it still makes the same noise.
Well, let me ask you a question, and think about this. Because this makes the noise when you first crank it up in the morning, have you actually, and I want to be specific because this is going to be your next step. I'm glad you called me because there's a lot of money that's been put into this vehicle. Mitsubishi Endeavors 2011. I mean, there were, in hindsight, you probably could have chosen another car, but you've got what you have, so let's make the most of it. How do we do that? So here are your instructions, Annie. You're going to make an appointment with the dealer on a Tuesday, but you're going to take your car there on a Monday afternoon. You go ahead and use your vehicle on a Monday, and I would wait until it was one of those chilled weeks, and you won't have to wait long for that with the summer coming up. I mean, the winter coming up. And so if it's consistently making this noise every morning because the weather is right for the noise to aggravate the noise, which you said that it does, then you want to take your car in late one evening and talk with a service writer, give him the keys, and set up a time the following morning before they move your car, and you go down to the shop or the dealership, whichever, and then you meet with a technician and the service director there, the service salesman, whatever, the customer care providers, what we named our people because they are customer care providers. And they interact and communicate with our customers, and you have to have that, and that's what I'm sharing with you now. So you're going to take your car in on, say, a Tuesday or a Monday night to go down the following morning, and then you're going to sit in the car and crank it along with the technician who's going to be working on your car, and then you're going to show him or her the noise that it's making that you don't like. Now, I'm going to ask you, do you understand what I'm saying?
Oh, yes, I do, and I've done that.
And? Do they hear the noise?
And they said, they replaced the belt.
Do they hear the noise that you hear?
Oh, yes. Yes. And they replaced the engine.
Well, wait. What you're saying doesn't make sense, and I want to understand.
I know.
You said they replaced the engine, then you said they replaced timing chain.
Yeah, yes. I had actually paid for the timing chain. I'm sorry if my grandson is.
That's okay. That's okay. I think it's kind of cool. I mean, it's live radio. And that's what it is, Annie. But here's my challenge.
Okay.
So, first things first, the timing chain was replaced on the engine, and then later on the engine was replaced, right?
Oh yes. They put a 60,000 mile. I bought my vehicle at 60,000 miles.
Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. If I read through the lines here, through the middle of the lines, they mentioned it was like a belt noise, right?
Correct, and they changed that.
Okay, wait. You're going ahead of me. Here's what I want you to do, because I want you to know what's going on mechanically, and you don't have to be a mechanic. This is going to be so fun. What you're going to do is exactly what we've staged so far. You're going to take your car down. You're going to wait. They're going to you're going to crank it up. So let's put ourselves there. You and I are in the car. I'm your technician, and I hear the noise, and I say to you, which they've said to you, oh, it's a belt. Then you shut it down. Okay, you with me so far? Then, but here's the next step. Then they take the belt off the engine, and then you crank the car up again with the engine cold, because you only ran it long enough to look at each other and say, yeah, we got a noise, it's a belt. Boom, you turn it off. They take the belt off, and then you crank the engine again. Now, if the noise is still there, really, it means that it wasn't the belt, it wasn't the water pump or the alternator or the power steering or the air conditioner or any of the related pulleys that the belt turns. But if the noise is gone without the belt, you'll know it's an external problem, not an internal problem, because with the belt off, the only thing turning is the internals of the engine. You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you.
Think about it. Think if you got a lawnmower, a riding lawnmower, and you got a belt on it, and you engage the blade, whoop, you hear the noise, right? But if the belt's off of it, you engage the blade, nothing happens. So you know you got a problem down there. The same thing's true for your Mitsubishi. If you've got a problem with the belt on and the noise goes away with the belt off, you'll know that it's something to do with the belt. And that means it's all or one of the accessories that belt turns. There's your cue. Yeah, you got it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's exactly what I want you to do. And the minute you hear that noise, then look at this mechanic, and you both agree, there's the noise. Boom, cut it off. And you just say, okay, open the hood, take off the belt, and let's see if the noise goes away. And
that sounds good.
Yeah, well,
yeah,
because what's going to happen if it doesn't go away, and he's the one that said it's the belt, he's going to look at you like, how did you know this? You're going to have fun with this. Andy, you're going to have fun with this.
Yes.
And then, last but not least, if he doesn't agree to this, take your grandson with you and tell him that you're going to keep your grandson in his stall all day long if he doesn't fix your car.
And I'm going to let him loose.
All right, my dear. All right.
Thank you
Take
so
care.
much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Yes, ma'am. Anything, just make him go away. No problem. Let's go to New York. Talk to John. John, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Yeah, good morning, Bobby.
Good morning,
Show you
sir.
How old I am. It was actually 210 Del Rey. Where the Del Rey came from, I don't know, on the Chevys.
Oh, the 210 Del Rey. Yeah. Well, maybe it was a Del Rey Boulevard, or maybe there's a Del Rey in Detroit Boulevard. It's like the name of a subdivision. There's some really strange street names, but if you look at the plat and the original filing of the plat, you'll see that maybe the person who developed the property had Transistor Sister as a child, and they named one of the roads Transistor or something like that. You know how that goes. But thanks for that information. So you've got a 2005 Grand Prix?
Yeah, real quick. I had a 57 two-door hardtop Del Rey. I wish I had that car today.
I bet you do. This car, by the way, that you heard me talk about, John, is a new 55, and all the metal panels. I think they're made in Taiwan, but the manufacturer is in Indiana, and it's an independent shop. I've been there once with this client of mine to look while they were building the car, and it is really a beautiful car. And there's some things that, like I'm debugging his new 55 Chevrolet. That's my job. I'm debugging it. And also I'm going through and making some changes that I didn't like. The power window regulators, because they're aftermarket, they didn't meet the specs and they were noisy, and the motors, a couple of the motors were bad, so the company that made the car for him sent me parts, and what parts they didn't send, I make, or I'm putting together myself. But anyway, hey, look, we've got a break coming up, but ask your question, but don't go away. We'll come back and we'll talk with the break. What is your question about your 2005 Grand Prix?
Can I put a supercharger on that engine, or were the supercharged engines obviously built stronger? And am I gonna have to change the wiring harness, the computer? Would I be just smarter just go out and buy one that's already all set up?
Oh, you'd be smarter to buy. Here's well, no, it depends now. See, it depends, and I'm facing the clock here, so I'll just slow down. I have to know what your goal is before I can properly guide you, because if you just love this car and want more power, then have at it. So, John, you stay with me, and Wayne, you stay with me, and folks, don't touch the dial. I'll be back, because this is going to be fun. We recently had the opportunity to talk tires with General Tire Senior Communications Specialist John Robinson. John explained tire speed ratings. The meaning may not be what you think.
Tire speed ratings is a tricky subject. You've got S, T, H, Z ratings and a few others, and they're all tied to miles per hour, but it's not how fast you drive. It's from a testing and a development standpoint. For instance, a T-rated tire at 118 miles an hour doesn't mean that you can drive up to that point. It's all based on developing and constructing that tire. It also depends on how you want the tire to perform and the vehicle to perform and how you drive it.
General Tire's new G-Max AS05 features smart technologies, providing providing visual wear alerts, all-season performance, and longer tread life. It truly is a smarter tire for a smarter driver, and you can try the G-Max AS05 risk-free by taking advantage of the 45-day customer satisfaction trial. Learn more about the G-Max AS05 and other great General Tire products at GeneralTire.com. Time to go to our Car Clinic inbox. Jim in Indianapolis writes, Bobby, I have a 2010 Ford Explorer, and it's taking more than 10 minutes for the engine to warm up, whereas it used to take 6. I hear you guys talking about Stant thermostats. What makes them so special? Thanks, Jim. You probably heard me talking about the Superstat in particular. Superstat is a premium-grade thermostat that performs better and lasts longer. The Superstat features heavy-duty springs that help return it to a closed position to prevent cold running. A larger heat motor helps control engine temperature, while a heavier gauge steel housing gives it a high-end feel. Just hold one yourself and you'll feel the difference. The Superstat is American-made and comes with a limited lifetime warranty. You definitely don't want to compromise when replacing your Explorer's engine thermostat. The Superstat helps maintain proper air-to-fuel ratio, which maximizes fuel economy, keeps tailpipe emissions in check, and provides optimal performance. Learn more about the Superstat at your local auto parts store or at stant.com.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Telephone tip
from Geico Auto Insurance.
When calling Geico to switch your car insurance, you will not need acetaminophen, naproxen, indomethacin, ibuprofen, a cold compress, an on-call acupuncturist, or any other pain remedy. In 15 minutes, you could save 15% or more. If it were any more painless, you could do it in your sleep, which is theoretically possible since we offer complete 24-hour service. Call 1-800-947-AUTO, 1-800-947-AUTO. Geico Direct, the sensible alternative.
When you purchase the latest TV, tablet, or smartphone, don't forget to do the right thing with your old ones. Recycle them. The Consumer Technology Association and its members are making recycling your old devices as easy as buying new ones. Just go to greenergadgets.org, type in your zip code, and you'll instantly find the recycling location closest to your home. You'll also find recycling tips, like asking the store where you buy your new TV if they'll haul away your old one. Don't let your old tech tools clog your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. The number is 888 Car Clinic. Really easy. Our website is carclinicnetwork.com. That's really easy. Car Clinic Network, all one word. And you know, every Saturday from 10 till noon Eastern Time, we come to you and I share information and stories with you. We're talking with John in New York, and at the break, my question to John, and I'll turn the mic to you, John, now. My question was, what is your goal? Because your question of me was, can you put a supercharger on your 2005 Grand Prix because you want more power? So I would ask you, and what are the ramifications? So really, do you really just love this car, or because you can find a lot of faster cars without spending a lot of money, and if you modify, well, I'm getting ahead of myself. So what is your goal?
Well, real quick on the 57 Chevy, I had that going up to 107 miles an hour one time. I wouldn't recommend that to anyone.
No, I hear you. Well,
you can imagine that with a Power Glide 2-speed, it was just screaming.
Well, I've driven a smart car relatively fast too, and I won't say how fast, but it's a little 3-cylinder, non-supercharged, 1-liter engine. So those cars will run faster than what people think, and especially.
Well, I had a '62 Porsche 356B Roadster. I used to cruise at 110. I wouldn't recommend that either.
No, no. And it's been rumored that a smart.
I wish I had both those cars. I had some Pontiac.
And John, it's been rumored that a smart car will run 93 miles an hour. It's been rumored. But let's go back now to your 05 Grand. You want to put a supercharger on it? What's your goal here?
Well, you're going to recognize this term, sleeper.
Well, okay, all right, that makes sense. And now you're asking me if it will damage the engine.
I'm wondering, were the non-supercharged engines not built as strong as the ones that came from the factory with the supercharger?
No, absolutely not. The head gasket and studs. I mean, and even the webbing of a supercharged block for the main bearing structure is beefier. And to that end, there's a company that very few of you will know this company, but you should, Ricardo. And Sir Harry Ricardo invented the single engine that checks the octane of fuel. In the 30s, he sold racing gasoline, which was ethanol, and Ricardo is in 12 different countries, and it's an organization that designed an engine, a V6 engine. They started with the General Motors V6 supercharged, and that supercharged V6 engine was a UK engine because that engine wasn't offered in the States, and that was the basis of the block. And they took a 3.4 V6 engine and modified the internals, put 4 turbochargers on it and EGR coolers, and made horsepower and torque. And get this, John, this is a 3.2 V6 engine. They equal the torque and the horsepower of a 6.4 liter V8 diesel engine. And it's EBDI, Extreme Boost Direct Injection. You should just Google that, folks. EBDI, Extreme Boost Direct Injection. I've seen the engine. I've been to the Chicago headquarters and actually worked with them at the CARS convention, which is the Congress of Automotive Repair and Service. I was unhappy with the event because I was unhappy with my colleagues who didn't really seem to get it. They didn't understand what the significance of a 3.2 engine matching a gasoline on ethanol matching a diesel engine. But that's for another show. So here's the bottom line. If you want a sleeper, you could put a supercharger on your very engine that you have as long as you restricted the boost to no more than 5 pounds. You would not even need an intercooler. It would be a simple bolt-on. Well, there's nothing simple. It would be a bolt-on. The challenge is you'd probably have to have larger injectors, and if that's the case, then you'd have to have a larger fuel pump. So if there's a company, and of course with SEMA being hot and heavy now this time of year, aftermarket companies make kits for almost everything. So certainly, if I were you, I would go to. You got a pen? You can write this down to save some time, and I'll move on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go on.
Enjoythedrive.com. And enjoythedrive.com is the consumer website for SEMA. And SEMA is a Specialty Equipment Market Association. So you go to enjoythedrive.com, and then you query whatever it is that you're looking for, supercharger, Pontiac, Grand Prix 05, and then you'll get information from there, and that'll put you directly in touch with manufacturers, and then you can call and talk with. That before you spend a dime, you talk to a technical director at whatever company you're going to buy their aftermarket and say, here's what I've got, what pitfalls, what questions do I not know what to ask? You got it? Okay, my friend. I'm glad you called. Thank you so much. Let's go to Wayne next, and then Kevin, I'm coming to you. And folks, plenty of time on today's show. 888-227-2546. Wayne, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I have a brand new 2017 Tucson.
Yes, sir.
And intermittently, the air conditioner starts to blow warm air when I'm driving.
Okay.
And when I took it in for regular service, I mentioned it to the service person.
Yes, sir.
And they put a thermometer in front of it for a while, and they said it doesn't show anything wrong. And then I did a little research on the Internet, and I found some comments about a similar problem with the 2016s that was a thermostat. So what's the proper way to go tell the service people that, hey, you didn't find it, but all these people did? I could print out the forum that talks about it.
That's an excellent question. And let me give you let me jump on the other side of the desk, which is where they are, and give you the challenge here. The service desk person is limited to what he can do because he hands off your car to the technician, and your technician drives your vehicle and does not experience the issues or the problem because it's an erratic behavior. So your car drives like or acts like Attila the Hun for you at times, but it's always mismanners when it goes into the dealership. So that's exactly where you are. Not necessarily with performance, but with the performance of the air conditioning system. So what you need to do is, if you could document under what conditions, unless they're just too erratic, but then you'll know, if you can document under what conditions the air conditioner fails. And let me give you an example. Let's say that you're accelerating onto an interstate on the up ramp. And I'm not sure, but more than likely there's a cutout switch so that if you were to drive aggressively to give you more power, the air conditioner has a switch in the computer or a micro switch that would shut off the air conditioner. That's a common occurrence. My little smart car shuts the air conditioner compressor off if you drive it aggressively. So if you nail the throttle to pass someone or just to try to make it go, it goes better when you push the accelerator hard, but the air conditioner also cuts off. And then if you back off the throttle, the air conditioner comes back on. So I know how to do that, and I know what's causing it. Your vehicle may have an AC cutout switch or an AC cutout function, and they simply haven't told you that. And if that's the case, then you could go drive the vehicle and you could cause it to fail, and then you could both agree that, hey, this is when you're aggressive driving. Now, let's park that aside. I want you to know that because a lot of cars have that function. And that's made so that when the engine and the driver need all the power that he or she needs, they turn off the power parasitic draws, which the air conditioner is 12 horsepower. So that's, you know that. Now, so let's shift back to the other side. If you're cruising down the road at 60 miles an hour and the air conditioner starts to blow warm, you got a problem. And I take it that's what your problem is, correct?
Yeah, because the test you just suggested,
yes.
I did it from Tampa to Daytona with my son, and we're both engineers, and we took notes.
Well,
we like to think those ways.
Well, yeah, really it is. It's fun to do that, and also it puts you in a better position when you're talking to the service desk because you know what you're talking about. I'll tell you what's fun for me to explain to women. See, I'd rather deal with a woman at the service desk than a man because too many men think they know what they're talking about with cars. And I can tell you, Wayne, today's cars are really sophisticated. So we all have to have open minds. But I love women because they say, well, hey, what's causing this? And what can I do to make it not go away? Because I don't want to be here spending my money. And they listen. And I had two ladies in the shop yesterday, and I walked over and I said, your ladies are in the shop. And they looked at me. They knew I was going to tell them they couldn't be in the shop. And I said, great, you have free reign of the shop. And their eyes got that big around. They both smiled. And they said, you got to be kidding me. I said, no, you come and go as you please. I said, just watch out for cars. Don't get run over. Of course, I knew they wouldn't. They had better sense. But it was a fun thing. It was fun for me to do. Now, let's get back to your challenge. There has to be an update. There doesn't have to be. There may be an update on the programmer that controls the air conditioning system, or there may be a part in the air conditioner system itself that's failing erratically, and that could be a cutout switch, or it could be a cycling switch for the compressor. So those are the kind of things. Now, it's not your job to find it. It's their job to find it. So,
well, how would they feel if I put a printout of a forum where 10 people say it was a thermostat in the air conditioner?
Well, I think you had. I don't
want to appear too cocky.
No,
with
no,
them.
I know what you're saying.
Doing.
I agree, but I think that you should take that with you and have a conversation with a technician. Talk with a technician, and don't go at 8 o'clock in the morning. Wait till about 10, and then let them get through their morning, rush, and don't go on Monday. Go like on Tuesdays or Wednesdays and talk to a technician and say, I need to, would you mind if I talk to Bobby? He's over there in the stall. I'll wait and have this conversation with the technician, because the service person, that's really not his job. His job is to direct the car. His job is to communicate as well. Anyway, that's what I would do. Wayne, thank you so much for your call. And folks, I'll take your calls at 888 Car Clinic when I come back. Folks, October is Fall Car Care Month, and there's no better time to perform a thorough check of vehicle maintenance items. Check your battery and charging system, as colder weather strains both. Keep your battery terminals clean and free of corrosion for the best connection and a stronger charge. Clean and flush your cooling system, and be sure to use new coolant, which will eliminate rust, dirt, and sludge and help prevent your engine from overheating. And be sure to use a 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water, as water alone will corrode your cooling system, and antifreeze alone may cause your engine to run hot due to the low heat transfer rate. And winter is an especially important time to check your exhaust system for leaks, as carbon monoxide could enter your car because your windows are more likely to be up during this time of year. For more great tips, videos, and recommended service schedules, visit carcare.org. And while you're there, order your free copy of the Car Care Guide for your glove compartment. That's carcare.org.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
More than 1 million wild animals are killed each year illegally. Poaching is a major threat to our country's wildlife. I'm Tom Barry. I'm an actor with a desire to preserve living space for wildlife. The Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust does just that. Works with private landowners to protect wildlife, to preserve natural habitats. To learn more or to work with the Humane Society Wildlife Land Trust, call 800-729-SAVE. That's 800-729-SAVE, or visit wildlifelandtrust.org. Thank you.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
We're a land of cynics. We don't believe anything anymore. You know why? Because we've been told we've won $1 million, that it's new and improved, that it slices and dices, that our favorite singer is still alive, that we'll be prosecuted if we cut off the tags, and of course that everything is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So when we hear the words customer service, we don't believe it. Travelocity isn't surprised if you're a little skeptical when they say they have excellent customer service, and that there's actually a pleasant face behind this website, a living, breathing person with a supercharged computer full of answers. Someone who's willing to help when you get lost, and most of all, someone that will actually pick up the phone when you call with a question or a concern. Customer service is just another example of how Travelocity puts you in control of travel. Chances are you'll never have to use it, but it's good to know it'll be there if you need it. Travelocity.com. Go virtually anywhere.
And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
And welcome back to this segment of Bobby Likis Car Clinic. The last caller that I talked with, really, that topic is the epitome of what Bobby Likis Car Clinic is all about. And if you missed it, it's simply my helping you with buzzwords and direction so that you can better communicate with your local shop in your hometown. I mean, if I can do that for one person over both hours of today's broadcast, I will have done my job and done it well. So for those of you who are contemplating or going into a service shop, whether it's a dealership or an independent service shop or chain store, you need to have buzzwords. You need to know what to ask for. Now, if you're at a tire shop, you say, well, I just need tires. No. You need to know, if you're going to buy tires, the born on date, because the outside of the tread wall shows in alphanumerically, there are numbers there, and the last four are the week and the year that tire was made. So if you look at any of your tires on the outside sidewall, and you've got 2614, that means that tire was made the 26th week of 2014. And so you certainly wouldn't want to buy a tire that says 2611, because this is 17. That tire's 6 years old. It's brand new, still been in somebody's inventory. Oh, wait, maybe that's why they've got it on sale for half price. But the tire's already 6 years old. And it is a given that all manufacturers, whether it's My General Tire or Michelin or Bridgestone or Goodyear, 10 years is the shut-off time. But tire manufacturers warranty their tires for 6 years. So you don't want to buy a tire that's 5 years old, right? So the next time you go to a tire shop, say, what's the born-on date of these tires? And also another cool idea that you shouldn't know about, but you should because you're the consumer, is when you buy a set of tires, you should get all four with the same born-on date. Oh, well, wait a minute. Because why? Well, so you don't have two pair of old tires and a pair of new tires. Let's go to Texas and talk with Kevin. And you're up next at 888-227-2546. Kevin, thank you for holding. Welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey,
you
sir.
told me to call you when I got that 98 Ford Escort ZX2 on the road.
Well, tell me about
She's
on
the road.
Well, what did it take to get it there?
I bought a wrecking yard motor for it.
Right.
And I talked to you about what I was going to do to it.
Okay.
And I did pull the oil pan on it, and it was clean as a whistle inside.
Wow.
The motor's supposed to have 53,000 miles on it.
Well, isn't that...
And we got it all together.
I'm so glad you did.
Got it all together.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we got it all together. The new timing belts, tensioner, water pump. The car had a new radiator for it. All new hoses, belts, all new gaskets, new clutch pressure plate, throw-out bearing, clutch slave cylinder.
You're the man.
But I didn't know that you leave the windows rolled up in the car for 4.5 years. That's how long it's been sitting. The computer went bad from heat, and the horn switch in the airbag went bad.
Ah.
Anyway, I found all those parts. Spent a little bit more money on it than I intended. But it was. This was what was odd is it takes a special tool to set the cams on this thing on the timing. It was retarded 2 notches on the exhaust and a half a notch on the intake, and it was getting rubber in 4 out of 5 gears. Now it will get rubber and it'll bark the tires at 80 miles an hour in fifth gear when you go to fifth gear.
That is so cool. That is so cool. I mean, and how long did it take you, Kevin? Like a couple of months from when you started the project?
It's about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've had 2 heart surgeries. I'm disabled, and so I work on it till I got too tired, and I don't do good when I'm tired. Now my next project.
I don't do well when I'm hungry. They call it.
I don't do well when I'm hungry either.
What is it? Anger and hungry is what's the name of that word, Hannah? Hangry. Yeah. My charming personality goes away, and this usually happens about 1:30 or so in the afternoon. And I've missed lunch, and yesterday I never even went to lunch, but anyway, getting back to your congratulations on what you've done. I think it's way cool that you went through this, and I'll tell you what, it's terrific that you pulled the pan and to see the inside, the bowels of the engine, because what you did, but that's a great of an inspection, because if there's a problem with sludge and what have you, that's where it's going to be, and so that's really cool.
But now here's my next project.
Okay.
My mother turned 82 in October. In 1985, my dad died in 1980. She bought a brand new 85 Cadillac Seville.
Okay.
It's sitting in her backyard.
Right.
She had the motor rebuilt. It had 39,000 miles on it. It was 35 months old, and Rod started knocking. Took it back to work. She had it rebuilt, and I used to race against this guy in high school, and he said, "Well, sorry for your bad luck." She spent $4,000 cash on that motor.
Okay, so what's your question?
It's a 4.1. Now I keep hearing. I've talked to a couple of people.
They
say the 4.5 or 4.9 will fit in that car.
Yeah, it will. It will. That's a front wheel drive Transverse. It's a sideways mounted engine,
No, the motor's mounted normal.
It's
mounted just like.
Well,
mounted,
that's not the one I'm thinking. What year is it?
1985.
Okay. Well, so what's your question?
All right. The 4.1 has got a bad bottom end. You know that. I mean, that's a wrap. 4.5 is supposed to be stronger. The 4.9 is supposed to be better.
Okay.
Now, they say a 4.5 is easier to put in.
Okay.
You have to use the throttle body and intake.
Wait a minute.
Off
Wait.
4.1
Okay.
on the
All right.
4.5, it's the same.
Kevin, in the interest of time, what is your question?
Where can I find information on people who have done this? I don't, Classic Cadillac Club or something. Cars over 30 years old.
you took the thoughts of the minute you said that. I said, we're really, because who's interested in an '85 Cadillac? Well, a lot of people, but they wouldn't be in this room. They wouldn't be in they're obviously not in your room. So you're right on there. What you need to go is to, and what I recommend very often is the Cadillac Club of America. Now, for me, when I ordered a Viper, I joined the Viper Club of America, and by the time my car, which took 4.5 months got to me, I knew more about it, than the dealer. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. That's what I would recommend, and I'll tell you, my friend, I do not believe that you'll have the success if you start to spend your time and your effort and your money on this Cadillac that's been sitting for this long that you had on your Escort, because the Escort is a heck of a lot simpler than that Cadillac, because the Cadillac has more electronics, and there were problems that engine had with wiring and it being in the mid 80s. It didn't have a great computer. It had PROM problems, so I would steer you away from that project, and unless you have nothing but time on your hands and you're a very patient individual, and I know that may fit your point in life, but the Cadillac.
Bobby, I know. I'm like I said, I'm on disability, and she bought this. Is the first thing she did by herself.
Well, why do you want to do this? Well,
and she still got the original cassette tape in the cellophane in the glove box.
Wow. So sentimental reasons drive you to want to make this car whole again.
Yeah, I just want to do it for her. While she's still able to drive.
Okay. All right. I got it. And then because you're not in a hurry, and because you have cars to drive, and because you can do it at your leisure, and because you have a limited budget, which means you're going to have to do it at your leisure, I think it's a good idea. Now, I can't tell you what engine will fit, and I'll tell you who you should call. First, you should see if there's a Cadillac Club of America. That's the first thing. Second, you should go right there in Texas. You should go to your local recycler yard, because they have catalogs that will say which engines fit in which cars, because they sell 4.1s and replace them with 4.5s and what have you, because they know they'll fit. Now, there might be some differences, as there always are, because we've put used engines in, even with the same year model. But for you, my best advice to you, and I'll say this in closing, my best advice to you is to visit your local recycling yard. We used to call them junk yards, Kevin, and you know what I'm talking about, and say, here's what I've got. Can you find me an engine? And they'll look in their catalogs, because they've already done all the work, because that's their business. I'm telling you, these guys have information, and they can give you the information that I would have no clue, because that's not my business. But that's good advice to you. You got it?
Yeah, I got it, bud.
Okay, buddy. All right, thanks. Good, and congratulations on your Escort. You make me proud. All right,
man. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. From Texas to New York to Mike. Mike, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us.
Thank you very much, Bobby.
You're welcome, sir.
Question, 2014 Lexus GX 460. Dealer says the oil consumption should be 1 quart every 2,000 miles. And what prompted it was I had it at a detail shop, picked parked it up. He says, boy, he said, you better have your car looked at. He says, when we started it up, he said, it filled the shop up with smoke. We had to open up the doors. And I normally park it outside, but I parked it in my garage a couple of days.
Yes, sir.
Yep, he's right. And so that's what they're doing right now. And then I'm like, well, should you do a cylinder drop test? He said, well, we have to follow procedure, and that's how much oil it should consume. So they change the oil. I'm waiting to get the 2,000 miles, take it back to the Lexus dealer, and determine that. But if they say, no, it's burning normal oil, it still wouldn't seem normal that it should, smoke like it is.
Okay, all right.
In the startup. So
you are right on the target, and let me tell you why. All manufacturers have outs, and recently I was told by one manufacturer that, one of my customers was told that it is normal for this car to use a quart of oil every 900 miles, which I know that is totally not right. And it's not right for your Lexus to use a quart of oil every 2,000 miles, because the car that I'm driving doesn't use any perceivable oil, and I have electronic gauge, and I'm anal about it, in 6,000 miles. So having said that, some usage is normal because all engines are different. So let's park that equation or explanation aside, and let's talk about what is not normal. Even for an engine that is using 2 quarts of oil as it goes down the highway, and just Mike, for you to know, and folks, for you to know, if a V8 engine burned 1 drop of oil when the piston fired, every time a piston fired, it would use 1 quart of oil every 2 miles. So 2,000 miles, that's a smidgen of oil being flashed off. Now, let's move that aside and get to the point. Here's the point. Here's what's not normal and what's not acceptable. You park a car and you go out and you crank it up and it smokes. New cars don't do that. Used cars don't do that, and if they do, you don't buy them because there's internal engine problems. So what your complaint is not about the oil usage. Your complaint is that, hey, this engine is smoking. Just fix that smoking. And guess what, Mike? If they have to replace the engine because the engine is smoking, I bet your oil usage will go away too. Or you have an intake manifold, or you have valve guides, or whatever. And also, some of the Lexuses had valve spring issues, and manufacturers had like recalls or hidden recalls. But you got to deal with a Lexus dealer in New York, and I have found the Lexus dealers to be very amenable. I really have. I've had nothing but good to say about Lexus, and we work on. I mean, of course, our nearest Lexus dealer is 60 miles, so our Pensacola folks don't have to drive to Lexus for service because we specialize in Lexus. I don't drive one, but I recommend Toyotas for used cars and Lexus. I just recommended a Lexus RX 350 to a lady in California last week. So anyway, your complaint has to be the smoke when you first fire it up. You got it?
Yes.
You see where I'm going?
If I take it back and he says, no, this is normal oil consumption according to Lexus manufacturer, what's my defense to get him to do a cylinder drop test or another test?
Well, see,
I did email corporate, and corporate says you have to talk to your Lexus dealer about it.
Well,
they didn't even give me an answer.
You want to work on the smoke side, because otherwise you get into. And I don't have. Here's the short answer. You got to call me earlier next week because I have other ideas. So this week you're to do, until we talk next week. This week you're to do is to see and determine how much it smokes when you first crank it up. That means that somebody else can fire it up and you get in it and you watch the smoke come out of the tailpipe. Okay. All right, buddy. Talk to you next week.
Bye.
There's guides available, for you to service your car. The Car Care Council. You can go to carcare.org and order one. It's a general service schedule. I meant to share this with you earlier, and I just didn't have the time with all of the calls that we have. But a regular service schedule will help you keep your car running its best. And thanks to the Car Care Council for this free booklet and free schedule at carcare.org. Next week, Diablo. a $355 tuner that I'm going to give away. I'll see you. Don't miss it. I'm Bobby Likis.
This is
Likis?
Bobby Likis Car
You'll
Clinic.
love
Bobby
us.
Likis Car Clinic is a copyrighted presentation of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated and may not be reproduced or rebroadcast without the express written approval of Car Clinic Productions Incorporated.
If it's time to replace your vehicle's headlights, stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts See Better, Drive Safer sale for a twin pack of Sylvania Silver Star Ultra headlights and get a $15 O'Reilly gift card after mail-in rebate. See farther and more clearly with Silver Star headlights at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
You're listening to Bobby Likis Car Clinic.
Rosie Outfitters, I'm Tina. How can I help you?
I'd like to place an order.
Great. Which item?
The cotton roll neck sweater, large.
Okay. Periwinkle, Loden, or caramel?
The caramel, please.
The what?
I'd like it in caramel.
Oh, the caramel?
Yeah, that's what I said, Tina.
Actually, you said caramel when it's pronounced caramel.
Can't we just call it yellow?
No.
Everyone knows the best part of a Milky Way. They just don't know how to say it. After all, it's our caramel.
It's caramel.
Ugh, that makes a Milky Way great.
You start my morning, you stir in my soul, you warm my heart, make me feel whole. Your aroma calls me, starts my morning, happy morning, your name is Folgers, my